What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning back into the Biz with you right here on My Spirit Swings Radio with your one and only rockstar, Mike David Dwayne. And right now we have our boy Emanny on the line right now. Definitely a dope R&B artist. Y'all ladies like sexy like that. He definitely brings it in. You know, just good R&B music. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Doing good. Thanks so much for coming on the show. We definitely appreciate it.
Nah, man, appreciate you having me, man.
No doubt. So you definitely got, the ladies going crazy, or the social media stuff like that. With you being an R&B artist, does it get overwhelming? A lot of women hitting you up on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff.
Listen, I don't think enough hit me up. So no, it's not overwhelming at all. Honestly, a lot of the people who do hit me up, they really, it's been a positive vibe. It hasn't been a groupie-ish type thing. So, while a lot of other artists might drive off of that, I kind of like knowing that a lot of the people who listen to my music actually like the music and aren't caught up in the hype of someone who creates music. So the response I get is great. Like, I just wish there were more.
Exactly. And it's a good thing that you get more of a respectable response from your fans versus the, thirsty thoughts or anything, however you want to call it, because, that can be too much. And a lot of other artists, they really see that and they're like, oh, I need that, I like that, and they just go off and do it crazy stuff. But you're a realist. I see that from your tweets, too. Like, you say exactly what it is that a lot of people won't even say.
Yeah, you know what it is? I've grown up in a time where a lot of people are afraid to be themselves. And if we're talking about trying to stand out in music, then the greatest way for me to stand out would be to be myself and say what I feel. And I just think a lot of people lack that, just in personality, like even away from the music. Like, my music doesn't attract the thoughts. It doesn't attract the groupies and stuff like that. It's because I do music that's real. It's real life. It's stuff that speaks to experience. It speaks to the soul. It speaks to just everyday life. So my tweets and everything else just reflects on my personality. I'm just a real person, and I just use music to express.
Definitely. And I gotta say, your the latest project, Songs About Her Too, is definitely a banger. And it was, inspiration-wise, tell everybody where, you gained inspiration, to come up with the different tracks on the project. Because I know, but just in case people aren't really so insightful and they missed, that key element to the music, tell them about the project. Yeah.
Well, the very first project I put out commercially was Songs About Her. And what I wanted to do is, because around that time, I was going through a lot just in my life and in learning, and it seemed to all reflect on just the relationships I was having with women for some apparent reason. So I decided to document it, and while it's songs about her, and it might seem like I'm talking about one specific woman, it's really not. I'm talking about the different women that I had come across in my life who either I had loved or had taught me something. So shortly after that, I had put out a project called Songs About You, which was really based on one woman. It was really solely based on this one woman who will go nameless forever. But I did the whole project and based the songs around her and the relationship that we had. And then which led me back to Songs About Her Too. Now single, going back and forth, dealing and meeting with different women. I was forced to kind of go ahead and do the same thing again. So while I hope I never have to do another Songs About Her Too, because I don't want to keep having to go through the nonsense with women like that just to get inspiration.
Right.
But it was highly inspiring. So anything you hear on there is something that I've been through and I've lived through.
So, and I gotta say, I definitely fucks with the projects, especially the latest one, because you're being real, you're being a realist, and I think that that's the most important thing that music at this time means. Not even a certain genre, not even just R&B or pop or EDM or whatever. I think music, that's what music has been missing, like a message that can be relatable.
Yeah, my thing was when I listen to music, the music that I love and the music that I grew up to and the music that my parents played, you felt it because you felt the person who was singing it, even if they didn't have the greatest voice in the world, even if they weren't the greatest writers or whatever. When they sang the record, you felt it, and you knew that it was coming from a place of experience. It was coming from an honest spot. And that's what music is lacking to me. Not to say that there aren't good records out, because there are a lot of good records out. It just lacks experience. It lacks personality. It lacks just a real aspect of life. So I try to grab that. No matter what type of record I'm doing, whether it's an up tempo, whether it's a club, whether it's a slow record, I want it to still exhibit my personality.
Definitely. So let's talk about this, your recent single, Perfect, which is definitely perfect. I feel like a lot of guys can relate in the sense of, the approach with that record. So anybody who's not listened to the project already, which everybody needs to go download on iTunes right now, songs about her too, tell them about that record.
Well, Perfect is, I usually write all of my songs. I've written the majority of all my projects. But this song was written by a guy named William Moore, who I went to high school with, really talented writer, really talented dude. I had the beat for a very long time. I had the beat just sitting there. I loved the beat, but I couldn't hear anything to it. So I sent it to him, and he penned a great record. And it was just perfect because at that moment, that's exactly where I was at with the female who I was dealing with. It was reaching a point in life where us as men, we feel like we need to reach for that trophy girlfriend, or we need to reach for that model, or that chick that we can walk around and showcase. And while the person I was with wasn't an unattractive person, she was very attractive. But I wasn't with her for that. I was with her for something past what society tells us is perfect. So I just thought it fit in line with where I was at, and it was a sound that I didn't really touch on before in records. Mm-hmm. It has a little more edgy. I won't say pop, but it's definitely a little more edgy than the typical R&B or urban AC record that I would usually do.
Right.
And we shot a great video for it, which will be coming out the top of the year. So I definitely it's one of my favorite songs in the project, for sure.
Definitely. So now with the video, before I ask you, the next question is going to more so connect with what you just said. What can we expect from that video?
You know what we can expect? You know what the thing with me is, video and visual is so important right now because I run into a lot of people who know my music. They know of my name, but they can't put a face to the name, or they can't put a look to the name. So this video to me is kind of like a coming out party for anyone who was looking to see what I'm about, to get a glimpse of, okay, what's the style of this guy, what's the type of videos and visuals we can expect from him. That was more important to me than anything else. So you're just getting a lot of style. You're getting a lot of style. You're getting a great story. The lead girl in it is a very attractive lady. And I think people are going to be pleasantly pleased. They're going to be pleased with what they see out of this video.
Nice. I'm definitely looking forward to it because your videos, I like the fact that it's real and it entices women, and that's one thing that, is a good thing that you do, because a lot of people, they don't do that. They're just like, oh, you know what, I'm going to just put out a video to this song. It doesn't mean anything to it, but it's like you're going through a whole story. Like every video that you do is like a short film to me.
Yeah, I try to do it. You know what? I'm a fan of Michael Jackson so much. as we all are. But I sit and still to this day, I sit and study Michael and his videos. It's almost like they made sure to write the songs for videos, and that's how I kind of write records. I visually have to see everything play out first before I can actually put it down on paper. So in doing these videos, in doing these songs, I almost had these videos already in my head. Like exactly how you see these videos come out are exactly how they ended up being. I wrote the treatment for the Young and Ready video, I Messed Up, and the 3 first videos that came out for this project. So exactly how I had it in my mind, exactly how you see it. And I want all my videos to always be like that. I hate watching a video that to me I can't get it. Like, what does this have to do with the song?
Right. Yeah, it's very confusing. You confuse one message. You might be saying, talking about weed and stuff like that, but you're making love to a girl in the music video. Like, not you per se, but I'm just...
Yeah.
It can throw somebody off me like, am I is the woman, and now it's supposed to be something metaphoric, okay, cool, I get it. But even nowadays, we don't see the metaphoricness with music, especially hip-hop.
Well, yeah, people are either lacking creativity or very scared to take chances on growing. Which is why I have a high respect for people like Kanye West and Miguel as well. Like when I listen to these people and I listen to the progress and the growth, they go from one project to the next in a totally different direction. It's still true to them, but they're trying to reach for more. When I listen to Michael Jackson album, each album sounds totally different, but it's still Michael. Each song sounds totally different, but it's still him. So that's what I want to do. I want to, take risk, but yet and still be able to pull people in and then respect the craft.
Right. And since we're talking about Michael a little bit, how do you feel? Have you heard the latest project they put out on him, Escape?
Yeah, I did. How do you?
What are your thoughts about the project?
There's for me, it's kind of hard to mess up Michael's vocals. Michael's vocals are just so strong. Like I can listen to Michael's vocals and be happy with the record. So for the most part, I listened to the project and I enjoyed it. Do I think it would sound like that if Michael was alive? No. I do think that we would hear a totally different project. But, I think they did the best with what they could do, especially given the material that they had.
Right.
So I enjoyed it.
Definitely. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because I love the project myself, and I was like, damn, some certain songs, we got the original, and we heard this is how it would have sound. But I feel like one song in particular, Escape, the title track, I felt like what Rodney did originally, I was like, that kind of sucks compared to what he was able to do now recent days, but it was still hot, and it was funky.
Yeah, you know what? Mike is like especially when it comes to the up tempos, Mike is all funk. He's a funk driven person, and I think Rodney caught exactly. Like if anyone would know what Michael would want on the track, it would be Rodney Jerkins. And I was almost kind of disappointed that Rodney Jerkins wasn't the one executive producing the project because he's exactly in the producer world he's the closest. But I get Timbaland is Timbaland. Like there's nothing you can take away from him, and I get the connection with him being over at Epic. So it was good for me. It was good for me. I hope that if they do have any other records of Michael, though, that they would just let it rest. Like I'm so much of a fan that I don't want to hear anymore. Like I don't want y'all to mess with it. Like leave it alone. I'm very happy with what I have. I can go to YouTube. I can go pop in my Moonwalker DVD and be very happy. Like just don't mess with it.
and turn on Spotify and have a good night, drink your wine, whatever, and just really vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. So now another let me go back. Let me go back to what I was going to ask you. You mentioned we talked about the different genres and music and stuff like that. What's your take on R&B artists crossing over to pop?
I don't think there's a problem with crossing over to any lane. I do think that even while crossing over, you should maintain who you were when you came in. You know, I would love to cross over into pop sounds. I would love to be able to do an EDM record and people love it, and then still be able to do an R&B record and people still love that as well. The industry just, for some strange reason, isn't set up for that. And it's almost disappointing. It's disappointing because I feel like it's only in black culture where that's not allowed. For some strange reason. It's almost like the minute that you decide to cross over to pop and then you try to come back, they're like, no, you can't come back. Like you've crossed over, that's it. But, you know, I'll use for example, and no offense, but Nick Jonas is you know, the guy from the Jonas Brothers. They were a big pop sensation, and now he's doing R&B soul music, and everyone's bringing him in and taking him in. And I'm pretty sure the moment that he puts out a pop record, the pop audience will still love it as well. So it's kind of, you know, it's weird. Like, black culture is in a weird space where, you know, it's almost like we can't even get to a point where we have like a black version of the Rolling Stones, or a black version of Sting, or Mick Jagger. It's like we get to a certain spot where they won't allow us that longevity. I don't know why, but, you know, it's something that we have to work on and something that we have to address within ourselves as well.
Absolutely. And I did see your tweet about that. I was going to ask about that more so in depth because, I mean, you mentioned Luke James, Adrian Marcel, and DJ and stuff like that, and those are artists that definitely aren't getting so much of that hype and stuff like that. I mean, they've got great fan bases, but I feel like sonically and universally, like, R&B fans need to really be paying attention. Like, I've had them on my show, and I stress it. I'm like, y'all need to pay the fuck attention. Like, this is R&B right here.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like I say this almost every other month. Those guys are amazing to me. You know, those are the guys that when I listen, you know, people would say, oh, who do you compete with, or who do you want to tour with, or who are the guys that you want to relate with as far as other R&B singers. And traditionally, people would think I would say, you know, Trey Songz, Chris Brown, you know, the Ushers, but it's not. It's those guys. Those guys to me are vocally and musically just beasts. Tank to me is one of the best, if not the best, male vocalists right now to me in R&B. Luke James is amazing. So is BJ. So is Adrian. There's a lot of guys that are just really great artists that aren't being allowed to showcase their talents for the world. And I don't know if it's because R&B has lost its touch a bit. So I mean, I feel like at some point everything is full circle though, because I remember a time where lyricism was like, no one wants to hear a lyricist, but now it's like everyone drives up of, you know, lyricism. You know, J. Cole, Kendrick, Wale. You know, you have a bunch of dope people who are now helping bring lyricism back. So I think at some point, real, true R&B will come back to the forefront. I think everything is just a revolving circle.
Definitely, I agree with that. And let's also talking about you know, your live performances, because I definitely missed the show that you did at SOBs. I was going to come through, but it's too much going on with moving transition. But how was that performance for you and, you know, the crowd's reaction?
It was great, and it was important for me because I tend to not perform as much as I should, and I'm working on changing that as we speak. But to know that people were there and they knew the records and they were singing back and they were interacting, it was great for me. It was a great reassurance that people were actually gravitating to the music. You know, a lot of people just if they don't associate me with simply my music, they associate me with others. So it's just good to see people finally support me without any attachments, and that's been the mission at this very point is letting people know, you know, I'm an artist on my own, and I have my own brand and my own music, and I want that support to be there for that as well as the other things. So it was reassuring for me. It was really a good moment.
Definitely. So now, with performance like that, what kind of preparation is a must for you before you hit the stage?
I'm horrible as far as preparation. The only thing I don't, and it's bad, but I don't eat. I don't eat before I perform. It's only weird. That sounds like me. Yeah, it's weird, and it's definitely something I shouldn't get used to, especially when touring comes into play. But I just like to be relaxed. I like to have my mind focused on just living in the moment. I don't like to rehearse shows like that. You know, with the band, it's different. You know, you rehearse the band movement, but I never like to really rehearse myself because I want everything to feel natural. I don't. You know, you can go up there and practice as much as you want, but, you know, it's like a basketball player. When you get on the court, depending on how the other player is, you got to play a certain way. So I just make sure no matter what I do is when I get on the stage, I'm totally prepared to do whatever I need to do to keep the crowd entertained and to keep them engaged. And that's my preparation. There isn't a set rehearsal or a set thing that I do.
That's what's up. And that's honestly really dope that you don't have like a set rehearsal like that you do, or like a routine that you really go through, because a lot of people, they get so stuck on, oh, I've got to follow this, I've got to follow a schedule, I've got to make sure I eat and stuff like that, which, you know, I totally get you with the, you know, not eating before, stuff like that, because any like preparation, because you get so hectic in the moment, just trying to make sure that you have the right mind state before anything else.
Yeah, performing for me is totally, it's a live in the moment thing. It's an adrenaline rush. I can't prepare for an adrenaline rush. Like there's nothing I can do that's going to prep me for that. Like I just have to live in that moment and accept what comes to me. You know, there's been times where I'll have a great show lined up, and then I'll get to the venue, and the crowd just doesn't seem to be receptive to what I might have had planned. So now I have to switch and make things happen. You know, I just think any great performer should be able to just go up the spot. You know, things don't need to be rehearsed to a T. You know, when you go on tours and things where you're involving crowds of a different magnitude, yeah, things have to be a little more planned out. But at this stage, I'm allowed to just go up there and still have fun and figure it out as I go along on the stage.
Definitely. What's up? Definitely respect that. So now you got the music video for Perfect coming out pretty soon, going into the new year. What else do you have going on for 2015?
I'm working on a couple of different things. I'm working on another project that's going to sound totally different from the other three. It's going to really, really exhibit what I feel is me, sonically. It's totally R&B, more live sound than anything. I'm not really big on club music. I enjoy club music when I'm in the club, but outside of that, I'm not the guy that's home blasting club music. I'm not really big on certain sounds for myself. So this project is going to really exhibit me, you know, I think I'm going to title it Me, just so that people can understand what I mean by that. But it's going to be about 5 to 6 records of just showing people what I like musically and what I like to do, and also exhibit more vocal. You know, a lot of people they might like the music but don't have a true understanding of my vocal ability. So this go around, I'm going to showcase that more.
And that's really key, you know, that you want, you know, your next project, you want to show more vocally and stuff like that, because a lot of people, like you said, you know, they hear it, they kind of get it, but they don't really get it when you're getting all of you vocally and sonically. Like I say sonically is always the better route to go versus universally, because it's like, okay, I'm just doing the norm then, what the universe doing. I want to be outside the box. I want to, you know, I don't want to step out where people ain't understanding what I'm saying, but I want people to understand the message behind with this, you know, the story within my music.
Yeah, I think at this point for me, where I'm going to win and where I'm going to find more people appealing to me is when I just totally strip away from feeling like I need to do certain things to grab them in. You know, when I first started doing music, you know, I didn't do music with a plan of, okay, I have to do this type of record for this, all right, I have this record as track 4, so now track 5 needs to sound like this. I just went and made music and loved it, and it sounded great, and people loved it then. So when you get into the business, it kind of taints you a little bit to some degree as far as your creative process. I feel like I've went through that moment, and now I'm ready to break from that and totally get back to just making music and having fun with it and allowing people to see, you know, what I enjoy, what my ears enjoy. And, you know, you can't please everybody at the end of the day. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm just here to do music in hopes that, you know, people will relate and enjoy it. So the people who will enjoy it will, and, you know, for the others who don't, you know, very sorry for you.
Exactly. Well, Emanny, thank you so much for this interview. It felt more like a conversation. Can't even say an interview, but you know, we definitely appreciate chatting with you, and you know, to get more insight on your music and stuff like that. Because I definitely listened that there's a story behind each artist and their music. But I was just like, you know what, I gotta get him on this show. He's super dope. I see him everywhere, and I started following you actually from like YouTube, from like your YouTube channel and stuff like that. So that's all I really became a fan.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate it. I always want to make sure that any interview I have is more of a convo. I love to converse with people, so I appreciate you giving me the time and allowing me the opportunity to expose myself and get other people involved. For anyone listening who isn't aware, you can go to emannymusic.com. Emanny is spelled Emanny. iTunes, you can pick up songs about her 1 and 2, and songs about you EP. At the Only Emanny, you can hit me up on there. I'm very easy to speak to. So anybody on there who has any questions, want to hit me up, want to talk some shit, we can do so. I'm just a tweet away.
Most definitely. Well, thanks again, Emanny, for coming on the show, and I'm definitely following back on Twitter. You know, let's definitely, you know, keep in touch, and let me know when you got a show in New York, because we're here in New York, you know, doing big stuff too. So just, you know, definitely keep in touch.
Definitely, I'm doing a big show out here, most likely end of February, beginning of March. So I'll definitely, you know, let you know, and hopefully I'll see everybody in the city out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely be there.
All right, man. Thank you very much, man.
All right, no doubt. Thank you.